Top 10 Crazy Conspiracy Theories Surrounding the Chinese Coronavirus. The Wuhan influenza, Chinese coronavirus COVID-19 infection, or basically coronavirus as some want to call it, needs no presentation. It is the most recent disturbance we as a whole need to manage. The infection originally showed up in China and in under 2 months, has spread to each mainland on the planet. It has murdered more than 4,000 individuals up until now, and another 113,000 individuals are affirmed to be infected. Most individuals concur that the infection originally showed up in a fish showcase in Wuhan, China. It shows up, in any case, that some connivance scholars don't accept this story. They state it is simply one more hoax story somebody made up to conceal the genuine root of the infection. 10. The United States government. There are bits of gossip that the United States government made the Chinese coronavirus. This case was first made by the Russian news organized Channel 1. During a live news communicate, a news moderator said the U.S. government made the infection to obliterate China's economy. He included that the U.S. may have additionally made it so they could offer antibodies to the Chinese government. The moderator put together his case with respect to the way that crown implies crown in Russian and Latin. As we as a whole know, President Trump used to be an adjudicator on magnificence shows and was now and then accountable for delegated the champ. The moderator said this was the explanation: the infection was named after crowns. Then, researchers state they named the infection after its crown-like shape. 9. Bill Gates. On the off chance that you are attempting to see how Bill Gates fits into all these, we should return to October 2019. That month, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation worked together with the World Economic Forum and the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security to test how well we were set up to manage an epidemic in an inquisitive bit of destiny. The COVID-19 infection appeared 2 months later. Conspiracy scholars state the program was an introduction to the up-and-coming plague, which every one of the 3 associations had arranged from the start. In the meantime, the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security has denied any connection between the occasion and the COVID-19 pandemic. 8. 5G Web. Wuhan was one of the principal Chinese urban communities to get 5G web. It is a similar city where the COVID-19 infection previously showed up. Is that an incident? Dana Ashley says it is not. Ashley accepts the COVID-19 infection is brought about by radiation waves discharged by 5G web. She put together her cases with respect to a 2-decade-old research paper that uncovered 5G was perilous to human well-being. Ashley says the alleged coronavirus is really radiation harming. She says it debilitates the insusceptible framework, leaving an individual helpless against diseases. People on the opposite side of the fence say Ashley is simply one more connivance scholar. They state the 2000 examination she cited was ruined by a recent report that demonstrated 5G was not hazardous to people. They additionally brought up the way that Wuhan was only one of the 16 Chinese urban areas that got 5G web simultaneously. 7. The Chinese government. A few people trust China made the COVID-19 infection as a feature of its organic weapon program. They state the infection later spilled from a lab, causing the epidemic, the lab being referred to as the National Biosafety Laboratory. It is the main Chinese government-claimed office equipped for leading examination into fatal infections. It is a piece of the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which is situated in Wuhan. On the off chance that you review, Wuhan is a similar city where the scourge broke out. These claims emerged over an announcement President Xi Jinping made just after the plague broke out. He said the well-being of research facilities was a national issue. The next day, The Chinese Ministry of Science and Technology discharged guidelines on the best way to tie down research facilities to forestall the break of infections. 6. The Canadian government. A few people except the Canadian government drove by social investigations educator Justin Trudeau imagined made the COVID-19 infection at the National Microbiology Laboratory in Winnipeg, Canada. The lab is a Canadian government-claimed office that behaviors investigation into destructive infections, much the same as the one in Wuhan, China. Conspiracy scholars state 2 Chinese covert agents took the infection and sent it to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, where it wound up causing the pestilence. The government agents being referred to are Dr. Keding Cheng and his significant other, Dr. Xiangguo Chu. The couple worked at the lab until they were out of nowhere laid off in 2019. Conspiracy scholars said the team were terminated for taking examples of the infection and sending it to China. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police said they were ousted over arrangement and regulatory issues. Who is coming clean? 5. The October 2019 shooting star blast. Something unfathomable occurred in Upper East China in the early long stretches of October 11, 2019. A shooting star detonated in the sky soon after 12 p.m., causing an exceptional blaze that made the night sky as brilliant as day. Conspiracy scholars have now bounced on that occurrence. They state the shooting star brought the COVID-19 infection from space. Scientists state this is improbable since the meteor didn't arrive on the ground. Regardless of whether it did, they don't figure the infection could have endured the outrageous temperature of the arrival. Meteors that don't wreck in the environment can reach up to 1,198 degrees Fahrenheit when they contact the ground. That is all but anyone could need to kill the infection a few times over. Infectious Ailments Authority, Dr. Dominic Sparks, included that the COVID-19 infection in all probability started here on Earth, since it imparts a great deal in like manner to severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS, and the Middle East respiratory syndrome, MERS. All 3 infections have a place with a gathering of infections called coronaviruses. We know SARS and MERS began here on Earth, yet COVID-19. The truth will surface eventually. 4. A Chinese lady eating bat soup. There are hypotheses that people got the COVID-19 infection from bats. While researchers are yet to confirm this case, a few people trust it spread to people after somebody chomped down on a tainted bat. That somebody is Chinese travel blogger Wang Mengyun. Mengyun turned into a casualty of a fear-inspired notion after a video of her eating a bat circulated around the web. She was blamed for getting the infection and spreading it to other people. Mengyun was later constrained by the Communist Chinese government to apologize for eating the bat. She included that the video was shot in 2016, 3 years before the COVID-19 infection showed up. It was not shot in China, yet in Palau, an island country in the Pacific Ocean. 3. Some obscure individual or gathering made it from HIV. Not all paranoid ideas have a name nailed to them, like this one proposed by a gathering of Indian analysts. The specialists state the COVID-19 infection bears some similarity to the HIV-1 infection. They said this was sufficient proof to demonstrate that somebody had adjusted HIV to make this new virus. They distributed the paper on bioRxiv, a site for look into papers anticipating survey. The specialists didn't make reference to names, so we don't have the foggiest idea about the individuals mindful. The paper caused a contention, making the scientists pull back it. 2. Corona Brew Crown Extra is a brand of lager prepared in Mexico. It is disconnected to the coronavirus and doesn't cause or spread it. The brew got its name from the Spanish and Latin word for crown. The infection was named for its crown-like shape. Corona Extra has been enduring a naming emergency since the scourge broke out. While nobody has really guaranteed it causes or spreads the infection, apparently individuals as of now medical caretaker such convictions. Google has been overwhelmed with scans for crown brew infection, lager infection, and brew coronavirus since January 1st. Samuel Hyde. Samuel Hyde is a popular entertainer and comic. A few people, be that as it may, might suspect he ought to likewise be renowned for beginning the coronavirus pandemic. This case is accepted to be a piece of a running joke of accusing Hyde for each disastrous episode that happens in the United States. Genuine article. Comedian Sam Hyde not behind spread of coronavirus as it occurs. Hyde has been accused for pretty much every mass shooting in the U.S. The allegations have now and then gotten more genuine, as it did after a savage shooting in Texas in 2017. Representative Vicente Gonzalez disclosed to CNN the name of the shooter was Sam Hyde. He later apologized in the wake of finding he had fallen for a progressing trick and fear-inspired notion.